Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Painting Hyun. In this video, we are going to be painting cactus that is covered in so many thorns. Just thinking about thorns of the cactus makes my body stings. But I chose it as today's topic because I want to try drawing it with creative colors. And the sun is left top side, sun coming from left top side, so shadow is will be right lower part. And then we will use micro O3 pen and pencils, and of course use watercolor. For today's colors, sap green, Viridian, Cerulian blue, Quinacridone magenta, and ultramarine deep and white. And white is acrylic gouache or watercolor. You can use whatever you have, okay? You can see my final painting in the top left video, okay? And I'm drawing with a 2H pencil, and then I will trace along the pencil lines with a Micron O3 pen. Interestingly, the cactus thorns are lines up like rows. So when you're drawing with a pencil, I draw diagonal lines that intersect each other and then draw the thorns on top, just using just a dot. Okay, this way it should be easier to draw. We are going to use a pen after finishing with the pencil, so we don't need to draw it too much detail with the pencil. Okay, and we can also add the micro 3 pen again after coloring if we need it. So just I'm just doing with the pencil, drawing the line along the pencil lines using Micron O3 pen. And I'm erasing any messy pencil lines with an eraser. I didn't erase the pencil line too much before coloring because the eraser can slightly damage the paper if you use too much. Okay, and already I wetted the paper background first, then cactus too, and take a cerulean blue to apply in the background and blend gently. Then drop cerulean blue onto the damp paper. Let's move over to the cactus and start coloring. We are going to follow the user approach, applying water to the paper in the cactus area and dropping magenta color to let it spread naturally. This will be a first layer. I'm applying light quinacridone magenta in the lower part of the paper, so kind of a pinkish color. Actually, the cactus is typically green, but I don't like to give it in a different color, more of a pinkish hue, pinkish color. And we can see the cactus shape clearly because we draw it with micron rotary pen. And then I'm mixing Viridian and Cerulean blue and a bit of sap green to apply it the top left of cactus. Then lightly dip the brush in the water and blend it gently. When you paint the cactus, don't leave brush strokes in the cactus area. So you need to know how much water you need for your brush or paper. Controlling the water both in brush and paper can be a bit tricky. So, for example, do not use a brush that drips water like drum nets. There is too much water in your brush. So, if you have rinsed your brush, gently touch it on the paper towel to remove excess water before using it. I drew the shadow of the cactus flowers since the light source is left top. So draw shadow diagonally. Okay. And apply a small amount of water to the lower part of the paper. Then paint with light quinacridone magenta. But if you want to go for the original cactus color, that is fine. So um, the cactus the cactus color is typically green, but I'd like to give it a little different color. So some kind of pinkish color. So if you follow my example, or you can draw your own colors. Next step is using splatter technique for looking natural and organic. I'm mixing quinacridone magenta and ultramarine deep to create a splatter in the lower part of the painting. Then I'm mixing a mixture of Viridian and Cerulian blue to use in the same lower part of the paper, and then paint it around the thorns area to make it darker. Take a slightly darker mixture of Viridian and Cerulean blue and soft green to apply to the thorns area, and then blend it nicely and smoothly, and don't leave any stroke, and just dotting on the thorns area. Next, I'm going to paint the cactus flower with magenta one by one and create a darker paint at the top and center of the cactus area. I mixed quinacridone magenta and ultramarine deep color. So I just paint on the cactus flower, the side of part, and then the top area. I'm mixing quinacridone magenta and ultramarine deep to apply the mixture again in the lower part of the cactus to make it darker. And try on the thorns area and between two cactus and blend it nicely. And then, since the sun is coming from the top left, so the shadow should be on the lower right. So I make the darker lower right area. For this small thingy, I painted with the cerulean blue. So I want to different value, different type of the color. Next, I plan to draw the shadow for each cactus thorns, which will take time. Don't worry about tiny details. Just enjoy your time. It will be the good time. Okay? I'm mixing the color Ultramarine Deep and Viridian and Cerulian Blue for the second layer on the cactus area. And I'm going to add a dark color to the top part of the cactus because the color in that area is a bit light. So then I will add a mixture of magenta and ultramarine deep to edge of the cactus to make it look organic and interesting. So that area is a highlight area. But I used a mixture of ultramarine deep and quinacridone magenta. And for the shadow of the thorns, I'm mixing magenta and ultramarine deep to draw the thorns shadow. It's going to take a long time. Don't hurry, take your time. Draw thorns shadow one by one. Take your time. What I'm doing now is using white watercolor to create a highlight on the thorns. You'd better use white gouache instead of watercolor, but I'm using now watercolor. So, but I said you'd better use white gouache instead of watercolor because gouache is opaque and thicker than watercolor. So I recommend for you use gouache or acrylic. Lastly, I'm adding some depth to the painting with a micron 03 pen here and there where I want. Okay, our painting is completed. If you are here for the first time, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and leave good comment. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.